Ladies and gentlemen, please can we be on our feet as we
Ladies and gentlemen, the procession is started and they would be arriving into the hall at the moment. You can see the procession approaching the entrance of the hall. And as they come in, we would start to indicate the order of procession. Procession is here, and we have it been led at the front by the registrar and CEO, Mr. Akimorakio, ACIB, HCIB.
also followed closely is the President and Chairman of Council, Professor Pius Deji Olaniwaju, PhD, FCIB.
Following after is the first VP, Mr. Dele Alabi, PhD, FCIB.
And of course, we have the second Vice President, Mrs. Mutsala Aseru Sweet, FCIB.
We have on this procession past presidents of these revered institutes. And we have the National Treasurer, Mr. Peter Ashade, FCIB.
So here with us are our special guests of honors, Your Excellencies, the Governor of Lagos State, the Governor of Katsina State, and the Governor of Plateau State.
We have past presidents and members of the Board of Fellows. Mr. R.K.O. Simon, FCIB, Mr. J. Ekundayo, FCIB, Professor Wole Adeomi, PhD, FCIB, Mazi O.C.K. FCIB, followed by that, we have past registrars, CEOs, and last but not the least, the celebrants of today, the honorees, and that is the procession of today's Fellowship Investiture.
So I'd like to say, can we make our way to our seats as we, because we're ready to proceed with the program. Thank you very much. Let's make our way to our seats. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, police band. We appreciate you for your music.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can we please be upstanding as we take the national anthem? The band, please. The CIBN anthem, please.
Thank you very much. We will be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, now before we deep dive into this wonderful program of today, because even in the world of finance, even data needs divine direction. And as bankers, we know that before every good investment, there must be some heavenly consultation. So before we proceed, it gives me great delight to welcome the second vice president of this great institute, Mrs. Mojisola Asieru Sweet, FCIB, for the opening prayer. Please, can you give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you. Let us pray. Please, can we stand to our feet and let us pray. Father, Lord, we glorify your holy name. Ancient of days, we thank you. I am that I am. We thank you for Nigeria. We thank you for our great institute, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. We thank you for all our banks. We thank you for all of us here present. Father, Lord, this 2025 Fellowship Investiture, we place it in your hands. We pray that all we're going to do here today will be to the upliftment of your glory. In the mighty name of Jesus, we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you very much. Please, can you give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, I don't know, maybe because of the weather or the convivial atmosphere we're in, I'd like to sound perhaps another reminder. Once again, I told you most of us, including our excellencies and distinguished guests here present, and of course, those who are having this ceremony today, have not been able to go to the gym. So if you haven't been to the gym today, which is primarily because of this event, we need you to have some kind of semblance of activity.
Like exercises.
Definitely. And that can be necessitated by the clapping of your hands.
No, 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 no. There's a school of thought that says there's a clapping. There's a method to everything, right? Usually they say there's madness and today there's no madness. There's just a method to excellence. So we want to do a train clap and it goes like this. That one, and then we build it and then we go on to echo. So
Let's start this then.
let's do this together. Okay.
You tell us that.
One clap and 2 claps, 3 claps, 4 claps, 5 claps.
Thunder!
Thunder!
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that train clap, and we will go on to our protocol.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria 2025 CIBN Fellowship Investiture. Please, if you're happy to be here, can you put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen? At this juncture, I would like to start with the recognition of our excellencies and eminent guests here present. Here with us today is our host governor, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, FCIB, Executive Governor of Lagos State, who is ably, if you want to clap, do that. Thank you very much. Who is ably represented here by the Commissioner for Finance, Lagos State, Mr. Abayomi Oluyomi, FCIB. Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. We also have the special guest of honor, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Manasseh Muftuang, Executive Governor of Plateau State. It's a pleasure to have you join us here today. Thank you so, so much. Here with us is a special guest of honor, Malam Diko Umar Rada, PhD, Executive Governor of Katsina State, ably represented here by the Deputy Governor, Malam Farouk Lawal Jobe, HCIB. And is our member as well. Can you give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We're happy to have you. Here with us is also the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, OFR. Mr. Olayemi Kadoso, FCIB, Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria. And of course, our very own, the President. Please, can we put our hands together and land on their way? Here with us today is also someone you all know, the President and Chairman of Council, Professor Pius Deji Olanriwaju, PhD, FCIB. Thank you very much, sir. The first Vice President, Mr. Dr. Dele Alabi, FCIB, is here with us as well. You're welcome. A second Vice President, Mrs. Elegant Amebo, is here, Mrs. Mojisola Sierra Sweet, FCIB. Thank you. I call him the Global Registrar.
We call him the Global Registrar. Why are you claiming that now?
We call him, I work for CIBN. Yes.
Since when?
Since today. The Registrar Chief Executive, Mr. Akim Murakio, ACIB, HCIB.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have here the Group Managing Director, United Bank of Africa PLC, and Chairman Body of Bank CEOs, Mr. Oliver Lauba, FCIB. I understand is on his way. Thank you. The distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Enyoluwa Aboyeje, Chief Executive, Future Africa, and co-founder of Andela, former CEO, Flutterwave. We welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for our guest speaker. This institute, we have our esteemed past presidents. They are eminent personalities who keep showing up and strengthening this institute. We have here Mr. R.K. O. Osayeme, FCIB. Please a round of applause for him. Mr. J.O. Ekundayo, FCIB. Professor Wale Adewumi, PhD, FCIB. You're welcome, sir. Also with us, we have Mr. Laoye Jayola, FCIB. You're welcome, sir. Next, we have online Otumba Mrs. Debola Oshibogun, FCIB. Thank you for being with us, ma'am. In our presence here today, we have Professor Segun Ajibola, PhD, FCIB. Also with us, Ayo Williams Olubemi, PhD, FCIB. And last but not the least, we have Ken Opara, PhD, FCIB. You are very welcome, sir. We have here CEOs to do your industry introductions. We warmly welcome you all this morning. Thank you very much for honoring us with your presence. All past registrars and CEOs of CIBN, Oloye Ogunleye is with us this morning, FCIB. You are very welcome, sir. Members of the CIBN Governing Council, please, you're very warmly welcome. I can see you somewhere in the hall. Then we have fellows, associates, honorary senior members, microfinance certified bankers, and all other categories of members of the CIBN, members of the academia, members of the banking community, the eminent and very distinguished investees of today. Ladies and gentlemen, what is today without the honorees that are being invested today? Can we please give a resounding...
Let's recognize you today.
Today, can you please stand to your feet? All honorees, please. Our MD CEOs, executives, members of the banking profession, congratulations. Congratulations on today. Please take your seats. Thank you. The management and staff of CIBN, members of the press, and I'd like to do another special recognition. Our top man today is our president and chairman of council. And where you have a head and there's no support, the head begins to shake. The neck is here. And I'd like to recognize Mrs. Olanrewaju. Please, you're warmly welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we warmly welcome everybody.
At this point, I'd like to, as a form of introduction, I'd like to say, Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, I welcome you to this historic celebration. Welcome to the gathering of distinction, a convergence of intellect, innovation, and integrity, the Fellowship Investiture ceremony of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Today, we stand at the intersection of tradition and transformation, where the enduring values of professionalism meet the relentless force of technologically driven disruption. Our theme for today, Banking Beyond Boundaries, Leveraging Technological Innovations for Enhanced Performance in the Nigerian Banking Industry, is not just a topic, it is a call to action. Because in today's digital economy, over 70% of now interact with financial services through mobile platforms. Artificial intelligence and blockchain are redefining how value is created and trust is maintained. And the bankers of future is no longer confined to the counter, but connected to the cloud. As we celebrate our newest fellows,
custodians of ethics, excellence, and enterprise, we also acknowledge that the future of banking is already here, coded in algorithms, powered by innovation, and guided by human insight. So get ready. Get ready for a morning of inspiration, recognition, and transformation as we honor excellence and chart the new frontier of banking in Nigeria and beyond.
once again, welcome to the CIBN's Fellowship Investiture Ceremony 2025. Knows no more. Please, can you give yourselves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Joshua Akimbola Morakinyo, and it gives me great honor, and I'm humbled to be your MC for today. I'm a broadcaster and a compere.
Also working with Joshua is Bukola Oluyedi. I'm Group Head Customer Experience for Polaris Bank, and proudly HCIB is CIB. Our work today is caught out. We're here to hold you through this event, and we hope at the end of the day, we will truly be having a truly celebratory event.
Definitely, we're looking forward to that. If you're excited to be here, please can you give yourselves another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for that. We are running on full throttle, and we will be going on to our welcome address. Our welcome address is given today by none other than the President and Chairman of Council of the CIBN, Professor Pius Deji Onlarewaju, PhD, FCIB, the man we call the owner of the legacy mantra. He has come to the Institute to create a new change, a new vista, driving leadership, driving ethics, driving the attention for gender, and saying that the youth will not be left behind. Professor, we warmly welcome you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
The host governor of this event is Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, FCIB. This time last year, the governor became a fellow of the Institute. Being represented today by another fellow of the Institute who has made his mark in the service of the Institute in person of the Commissioner for Finance for Lagos State, Mr. Bayomi Oluyomi, FCIB. We appreciate that the aquatic splendor is not limited to you. It's been extended to CIBN all the time. Thank you. I also want to recognize one of our special guests of honor this morning, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Menace Mofang, Executive Governor of Plateau State. Thank you, sir. It's a real privilege. We don't take it for granted. Also permit me to recognize specially another special guest of honor, Malam Diko Umar Brother, PhD, Executive Governor, Katsina State, represented by the Deputy Governor of Katsina State, Malam Lawal Jobe, SIB, who is also a member. Thank you for coming, sir. Permit me also to recognize we are still expecting him, but even in absentia, because of the pivotal role he has played in the economy for the past few years, to recognize the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edo, who will also be conferred with SIB today. He said he will be coming, and we're still expecting him. Also, permit me to recognize again the governor of governors in the financial circle, that's the governor of the CBN, in person of Mr. Olayemi Kadoso, FCIB too. And also to recognize my team, the team that was determined when we came in 2024 to leave a legacy of excellence. and I have them here, always there at my beck and call, supporting me. I want to recognize especially the consummate professional, doctor now, Dele Alabi. Thank you for being there, FCIB. That's the vice president and the incoming president, because this may be the last assignment I will be doing during this tenure. And it's the one that is going to take over, and I know that it's going to raise the bar of excellence that CIBN is noted for. Also permit me to recognize the mother, the mother of the legacy team, providing those motherly disposition from time to time. Cherish you dearly. That's Ms. Bojisola Ase Rusut. Thank you for your support. Our national treasurer is Dr. Peter Ashade, who is joining us virtually because of an assignment that is so expedient for us, for him to carry out for us. And the man that has been, gave him a challenge. We said, we don't want to be local champion. We want to be operating at the global level. And we changed his nomenclature of his office, the global registrar. No other person than Akimuraki. We're very proud of you. Thank you for your support. For over a year, it has been wonderful what you have been doing for us. Also, permit me to recognize the group managing directors of United Bank of Africa. That's the person of Mr. Oliver Alawuba. I'm expecting him. And you see him as a point of contact to all our MDs. They have been so wonderful, so supportive. We are gracious to what you have been doing. I know you will soon join us. Permit me to recognize our distinguished speaker. When I look around, it's a bundle of talent. Innovation personified. That's exactly the man that is there, Dr. Iyoluwa Boyede, the Chief Executive, Future Africa, and co-founder of Andela, former CEO of Flutterwave. I think all of us are quite familiar with that name. Thank you for coming. You promised to be around, and you are with us. Permit me especially to recognize leading light in this industry, those people that laid the foundation upon which we are building today. I can see some of them that are here in their candor in special way. I was whispering to the registrar that did he send a message that all the past presidents must be Agbada today, with the exception of the pastor in their midst. Let me recognize especially the one of our best in this industry, one of those who that motivated people like us to enter into the industry. No other person than the chairman of the body of past president, Mr. Osayeme FCIB. Thank you, Daddy, for being there. I also have here, Mr. Femi Kundayosa, who is also a past president. Thank you for being there for us always. We can call on them 24/7 and they'll be there. And also permit me to recognize also the professor of professors, Professor Wole Adewumi, a past president of this institute, who made some of us standing as professors today. And also leaving the older generation. Then I come to what I call we used to have the ancient and the mother. I want to come to the mother. And one of those CIB is no other person than Mr. Jayeola. Good to have you, sir. We're very proud of you. He's the proprietor of the Hillside University in Ekiti. And also, another iconic professor is here in person of our Professor Segun Ajibola, the brand owner of the anthem that we sang a few minutes ago. And permit me, somebody was giving us spiritual backing too, in person of, I call him Double Doctor. He knows why I call him Double Doctor. That's Dr. Bayo Lubemi, a spiritual leader. Thank you for being here. Witnesses this occasion. And also permit me to recognize Shifoloye. Thank you, sir, for what you have done for this great institute over the years. The CEO of banks that are here, there are so many of them, like I did mention before, The support has been massive. Every time they are always call on them, they are always there for us. We appreciate you all. And all we are trying to do is to build an ecosystem that all of us proud of. And we'll be able to leave a legacy of excellence for those who are coming behind. Once again, on behalf of the legacy team, I want to thank you immensely. Members of the CIBN Council, I saw one of them. I know a lot of them might be in the crowd. Thank you for coming to give us support which you have been giving to us. Then fellows, associates, senior members, microfinance certified members, all categories of members that are here this morning. Without you being here, the ceremony will be lacking in substance. Thank you for coming. Our members of the academia, I know some of my colleagues in the academia will be here. I invited some of them who will be here. And some friends of the Institute, because I know that I belong to two angles. I know that some of my colleagues from not less than 10 SCA will be here today just to support me for this program. I want to thank you immensely that you have a lot to learn from CIBN because we are dictating the pace. Members of the banking community, eminent and distinguished investees today. Investees today, I want you to wave hand. To God be the glory. It's a thing that when CIBN is honoring you, it's honor well deserved. If you look at the process, you will know that it's something that you need to thank God. Thank you for coming. And also, thank you. Yes, also let me recognize some of our people that are online. We learned that Dr. Segun Aina, that's the global president, former global president, is online. Thank you, sir, for your initiative of yesteryear. I want to thank my immediate past president, Dr. Ken Okpara, who I learned is also online, and also one of our MDs, Mrs. Yemisi Edu, MD CEO of FCMB. I appreciate all of you that are here. Thank you for your support over the years. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to all this year's Fellowship Investiture ceremony of our highly revered institute. This is an annual landmark event which holds special significance in the annals of our institute as we confer prestigious fellowship and honorary fellowship status to some deserving members who have distinguished themselves through meritorious service. We also take this opportunity to recognize those whose professional excellence, impeccable character, and impactful contributions are profoundly advanced the banking industry and broader Nigerian economy. You need to declare for yourself, all those who are getting fellow today. If you look at the arrays of those who we are parading today, they are the movers and shakers of the ecosystem. And that is why they are here being celebrated today. Your presence here today underscores the collective commitment to celebrating and upholding the highest standard of ethics, professionalism, and leadership in this sector of the economy. Together, we honor these exemplary individuals who continue to shape the future of banking and economic development in Nigeria. Esteemed audience, it will gladden your heart that it is with great pride that we honor today 21 honorary fellows. That's in a country where we have a population of close to 200. So if 21 is being selected in a year, then you must count yourself that you really, really are wonderful. 440 elected fellows and 225 honorary senior members, ACIB, bringing the total of distinguished investees today to 687. On behalf of the Governing Council of our great institute, I warmly congratulate all our honorees, for this laudable achievement. Your elevation today is not just an award. You are not giving an award, but a recognition of your dedicated service as torchbearers of innovation and integrity. We sincerely acknowledge the significant impact your contributions have made to our profession in this country. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our special guests, especially on the table, the governors that are here who believe that they want to be a partaker of what we are doing here. Yes, who have honored us with their presence despite their demanding schedules. It is with profound respect and admiration that we welcome two exceptional leaders whose vision and dedication continue to shape the now and the future of our nation. First, we warmly greet, the governor of Lagos State, of the city of aquatic splendor, the visionary executive governor of Lagos State, who has been championing sustainable development. Also joining, that's Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and also Malam Diko, rather the executive governor of Katsina State, and also especially the governor of Plateau State. So I will thank you for honoring this event. Our esteemed speaker, Dr. Inyoluwa Boyede, the chief executive, of Future Africa and co-founder of Andela. Andela embodies the spirit of innovation. That's why we brought him, an entrepreneur excellence that perfectly reflects this year's theme. Your presence here today strengthens our collective resolve to build a resilient, inclusive, and technology-driven financial system for the future of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's investiture team, Banking Beyond Boundaries, leveraging technology innovation for enhanced performance in the Nigerian banking system, captures our profession evolution from physical operations, to boundless digital innovation that continue to evolve over the years. Over the past decades, Nigerian banks have evolved into expansive digital ecosystem, enabling real-time connections among millions of individuals and enterprises. Electronic payment transactions rose to 384 trillion in July 2025. Clap for this nation. Clap for the bankers that are making this to happen. Yes. With more mode of a POS payment surging over 200% year on year, driving financial inclusion and operational efficiency within our ecosystem. The ongoing banking consolidation has further strengthened the sector resilience with several 2026 deadline giving, boosting the investors' confidence and innovation within the system. It's also expedient to measure at this junction exactly what the news we had. That's the exit from the FATF, gray list a few days ago, marks a major restoring international confidence, easing of trade and investment flows, and also reinforcing the country's commitment to transparency and financial integrity. Together, these developments position the Nigerian banking system, as a vital clap for all these bankers that is making this to possible. People thought it was impossible, but we can see the reality now on ground. Esteemed audience, it is important to commend the outstanding performance of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Nigerian banking sector in steering economy towards stability and growth. CBN proactive monetary policies and regulatory reforms have reformed and reinforced financial sector resilience that all of us are witnessing today. As I conclude these remarks, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sustaining our economic progress demands unwavering commitment, strategic collaborations among the central banks, among the banks that are here, and also even those of us that are stakeholders. They need our understanding. To move forward, we must deepen financial inclusion through digital technologies, ensuring everyone that have access to the latest innovation that can drive the economy better. Robust regulatory frameworks and transparent practices will safeguard the financial system integrity and global confidence, which we are about to enjoy now. Expanding credit access to key sectors in agriculture, manufacturing, and SME will drive growth and job creation that has been lacking in the past. public-private partnership will be crucial in investing in the infrastructure, human capital innovation, making our financial sector a pillar of sustainable development that we have all been yearning for. Once again, I acknowledge your newly admitted fellows and honorary members that are here. Congratulations. This well-deserved elevation. With this honor, both celebrate your past accomplishment and also reaffirm your commitment to shaping the future of banking in Nigeria and beyond. What we are trying to say is that you are being decorated today to have an eschatological view of the kind of nation you want to build, and that you are a major stakeholder in making that a reality. As John Kennedy said, and I would like to quote, change is the law of life. And those who look only for the past, of our present, are certain to miss the future. We don't want you to miss the future. Like I did mention, we want your view to be eschatological, thinking about the future, because the future of our nation is definitely very, very bright. It is imperative for me to just mention, that as part of the audacious move to further position our institute, we came up with things that we believe can move on to the next level we are talking about in focusing on human capital development, working with the bank CEOs and financial institutions CEO. We have established Human Capital Development Fund to provide financing for training young people and retraining the existing bank staff to address the staffing gap that we have in the industry today. The Japanism has come to stay, but what we are saying that there is also Japadism. If they are going, then let those who are around, let's make them to be able to be fit and proper for what we are doing. Our ultimate goal is to create a robust pipeline of skilled professionals through our banking school project, driving innovation and excellence in the financial sector. I therefore call on all relevant stakeholders to join force with us in redefining the talent landscape in the banking and finance industry in our nation at large. I want to thank you that this is another glorious event of our great institute. Thank you for your rapt attention. God bless Nigeria. God bless. Yes, like I did mention, I've said this time without know, but I think my wife is still around. I said I'm a prophet. Yes. And I prophesied a few minutes ago. I said the minister is on his way. Yeah. I made a prophetic statement. And some of them were looking at it. That statement is a look. No, it's been confirmed. I said the minister of finance is on his way and he will soon arrive. And lo and behold, before I finish my statement, we are here live and direct. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. So on this note, I want to thank you for your rapt attention. God bless Nigeria. God bless our banking system. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Please, can you give the President and Chairman of Council, CIBN, Professor Pius Deji Olanrewaju, another round of applause? Thank you very much, sir. Now, leadership for a currency, I'm sure Professor Olanrewaju Adedeji will be in high demand. And of course, please, can you give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, let's do proper introduction. While he was speaking, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Awale Edun, OFR, walked into the building. Please, can you give me a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for all you do with Nigeria's economy. Thank you very much. We are in the right direction. Everyone can attest to that. All the indices attest to that as well. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think at this point, we need to clap for what the banking community has been doing, because this hall you're sitting now is a function of what the bankers are doing. I think you deserve a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to know that we're back here and it's a good place to be. Please, can we do that again once more? Thank you very much. Thank you. So we'll continue with our goodwill messages. And now I'd like to invite someone who is doing. We'd like to have our special remarks from some of our eminent personalities here present. The person I'm about to call is a development economist, a scholar of repute, and a public servant whose leadership in a state reflect a rare blend of intellect, innovation, and integrity. As a man with a PhD in entrepreneurship, he knows that progress doesn't just happen. It is strategically invested, wisely managed, and boldly led. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming with a round of applause as we welcome His Excellency Alhaji Dikko Umar Rada, PhD, Executive Governor of Katsina State, ably represented here today, a fellow of the Institute as well, the Deputy Governor, Katsina State, Mr. Farouk Lawal Jobe, HC, is a member of the Institute HCIB. Please, can you give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for his... Thank you. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على النبي الكريم. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner of Finance, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinator Minister of the Economy, the President and Chairman of the Council, and other distinguished management of the Council, the Registrar and Chief Executive of the Council, distinguished fellows, other professional members of this noble association. Good morning, all of you. I bring to you felicitations from His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Umar Rada, PhD, and being a member of this professional body, I am happy to be here and also identify with this professional body. I've been in the industry, banking industry, particularly for 23 years, and all that we have been part of is today impacting on what they are doing in Katsina. I also want to let you know that the governor is also part of us. He was in the banking industry for a decade. And what we are doing, transform Katsina State today, has bearing on what our profession has taught us. Today in Katsina, we're not just transforming the lives of Katsina people. We have done so much in terms of infrastructure, spanning across all the sectors of the economy. Today, I'm happy to let you know that we've done a lot in terms of improving lives of Katsina citizens. Under social care alone, we're able to settle outstanding gratuity for staff of local government and state that retired. Within the first 2 years of our administration, we're able to pay over 26 billion. In education, we have done so much, particularly in the area of training and recruitment of teachers. I want to report to you that based on the priority we have placed on education, we are the first of national government to recruit 7,325 teachers within 1 year in office. We're able to train more than 18,000 teachers so far. In terms of primary health care and the health sector in particular, we have the highest number of health facilities across the country. We realize the need to train and provide resources in health sector. Currently, we're training 41 medical students in Egypt. And I tell you, all of them are product of public schools with 100% scholarship. And all their fees have been paid for throughout the period of their studies. We have also sent 68 number of students currently in China studying artificial intelligence and biotechnology, 2 from each of the 34 local government areas that we have in the state. And all of them are also product of public schools. In terms of healthcare, out of the 361 wards that we have in the state, we are currently upgrading all the facilities, at least one functional facility in all the 361 wards. So far, we have concluded over 260, and the rest are ongoing. One is situation where we have a functional primary healthcare facility in all the 361 wards of the state. So within less than 2 years in the office, we have also provided direct jobs, 34,103 people in the state. So a lot has been done to ensure that resources accruing to Kaduna State are equitably and judiciously utilized. In terms of energy, we have done so much. Our government house is now on solar. General Hospital Katsina on solar 24/7. The state secretariat and across the city, we have done 74 kilometers of solar street lights, all within a period of 1 year. So these are many more. I want to share with you the Katsina experience. So well, thank you most sincerely for giving us the opportunity to be part of this. And I tell you, what I've learned over time was able to shape our attitudes, our disposition towards developing our own state. Thank you, and God bless you.
Please, a warm round of applause for Malam Jobe. Thank you very much for sharing the great work going on in your state, Katsina State. We are indeed inspired, and it shows that great things are happening. I heard about the investment in the youth, people going on coding, learning, and most inspiring is the transformative work of sustainability going on in that state where you were powering with solar. And I know that that is the future. In fact, it is here to stay, and we are happy that your state is pioneering that. Thank you very much. And another round of applause for Katsina State. Thank you. I'd like to recognize the presence of Mr. Fatai Karim, Special Advisor to the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Mr. Karim, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we promise you that we will be going on full throttle today. And next, to give special remarks, is our own host, the special governor of our state, His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, FCIB, is ably represented here today. But, you know, I'd like to talk about how we look at our special one, you know. It is an honor to welcome a leader who continues to redefine what purposeful governance looks like in a dynamic economy like Lagos State. Lagos State is like a labyrinth, you know. The more you look, it will seem like the less you see. So you need inner eyes, you need vantage positioning, and you need a troop to be behind you to be able to, you know, make great things happening. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, a distinction that reflects not only in his financial acumen, but his deep understanding of structure, systems, and sustainability. From pioneering infrastructure to championing technology and innovation, his leadership has positioned Lagos as a living laboratory of progress, where policy meets performance and vision meets visible results. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me with warm applause as we welcome today His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, FCIB Executive Governor, Lagos State, ably represented by the Commissioner for Finance, Lagos State, Ms. Abayomi Yomi, FCIB. You know what they say? Oh. Ìlú ọgbọ́n. Kò gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀ rárá o. When a banker becomes a builder, every bridge, road, and reform is a solid investment in the future. You're welcome, Lagos State.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I know that the protocol was extensively established by the president of CIBN, but first and foremost, as your host state, and also as a fellow of the institute and a politician, I have to do the needful by re-establishing the already established protocol. The special guest of honor, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Manasseh Muftang, Executive Governor of Plateau State. I recognize you, sir. The special guest of honor, Malam Diko Marada, Executive Governor of Katsina State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Katsina State, Malam Farouk Lawa Jobe, HCIB. I recognize you. My leader and my senior, the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, OFR. I recognize you, sir. The President and Chairman of Council, Professor Pius Deji Olanrewaju, PhD. Good morning, sir. The first Vice President, Mr. Adele Alabi, FCIB. The second Vice President, Mrs. Mujisola Asiri Sweet, FCIB. The National Treasurer, Dr. Ashade, okay, he's not here. And of course, the Registrar and Chief Executive, Mr. Akimora Kinyo, HCIB. The esteemed past president of a highly revered institute. Let me pause here and on behalf of all the past presidents, let me especially recognize someone that is very, very dear to me. My professor that taught me finance at the University of Lagos, Professor Wale Aderomi. Also, at this junction, I would also like to recognize one of the past presidents, especially. He was my mentor in the money market. He was the one that taught us treasury in those days. I recognize you, sir. Is it doctor or professor? Dr. Laoye Jayola. Well, it is actually gratifying to be here today. And as such, I would like to pay a special recognition to the CEOs of banks and captains of industry. First and foremost, the greater part of my years was spent with them. I spent about 30 years in the banking industry. That's number one. Secondly, this significant edifice, this fantastic building was made possible by the cooperation of banks with CBN. So I would like to give them a serious round of applause. First and foremost, to CBN for the leadership and all the other banks for cooperating with them. Thank you for donating small parts of your profit and loss accounts to fund this initiative. All past CEOs and registrars of CIBN here present, members of CIBN Governing Council, fellows, associates, honorary members, members of the academia, members of the banking community, eminent and very distinguished investees of today, management staff of CIBN, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. In a good message from the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, at the 2025 Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria Fellowship Award at Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and Creative Arts, Iganmu, Surulere, Lagos. So everything I'll be saying here today is from Mr. Governor. I'm just, conveying his message. So you can, whatever it is being said here today, you can give him a call. It is a pleasure to welcome you all to Lagos State, the center of excellence, the vibrant economic heart of our nation, and the undeniable financial capital of Africa. We are honored to host this year's Fellowship Investiture and Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, a prestigious event that shines a light on excellence, ethics, and leadership in the banking world. For more than 60 years, CIBN has stood as a pillar of professionalism and trust within our financial landscape. Since its inception in 1963, through its charter in 1990, the CBN Act of 2007, the Institute has continually raised the bar, developed talent, and maintained ethics as the bedrock of sound banking practices. It has nurtured countless individuals whose expertise and integrity bolster confidence in Nigeria's financial framework. Today, we come together not just to honor new fellows, but also to reaffirm the enduring values that have defined this noble profession, which are integrity, competence, and service. I want to extend my warmest congratulations to about 21 distinguished individuals receiving honorary fellowship today, about 440 new fellows, and close to 280 esteemed honorary senior members. You deserve a round of applause. This recognition is a testament to your excellence and your invaluable contributions to the growth and sustainability of the banking profession in Nigeria and beyond. The theme for this year's investiture, Banking Beyond Boundaries, leveraging technological innovation for enhanced performance. It captures the essence of our current era. All around the globe, technology has emerged as a new frontier in banking innovation, like artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, open banking, and digital platforms. They are all reshaping the way we save, the way we invest, and the way we conduct transactions. These advancements are tearing down old barriers, broadening financial inclusion, and boosting operational efficiency. Here in Lagos, we witness this transformation every day. As the hub of Nigeria's largest banks, the most dynamic fintech companies, and the highest volume of digital transactions in West Africa, Lagos is right at the crossroads of finance and technology. Each tap, each transfer, each transaction happening here today tells us a story of a state that has wholeheartedly embraced innovation to fuel growth and inclusion. Yet, as we celebrate this remarkable stride, we must also ensure that no one gets left behind. Banking beyond boundaries should mean access beyond limits. Whether it is a trader in Mushin, a farmer in Ekpe, or the student in Yaba, technology should serve as a bridge, not a barrier. As a government, as from Ms. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as a government, we are dedicated to fostering the right environment for innovation to flourish. With our ongoing investment in broadband infrastructure, digital literacy, and cyber security, Lagos State is laying the groundwork for a truly smart, secure, and inclusive digital economy. We are also working closely with the Central Bank of Nigeria the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, and the other key players to ensure that our financial system remains resilient, globally competitive, and focused on people. To all the new fellows today, this moment carries a weighty responsibility to guide the next generation, to uphold ethical standards and keep pushing the boundaries of excellence. The future of banking will not just hinge on technology. It's relying on the wisdom, the discipline, and the foresight of dedicated professionals like you. I commend the leadership of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria for their firm commitment to innovation, to ethics, and to national growth. Lagos is honored to host this esteemed event, and we will continue to support initiatives that strengthens Nigeria's status as a financial leader in Africa. In Lagos, there is a catchphrase. We say, this is Lagos. So when I give the last line of governor's speech, I want all of us to say, this is Lagos. So the last line of governor's speech is, thank you and God bless you all. This is Lagos.
Can you give the governor of Lagos State another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? This is... Now welcome. Please, can you give the representative of the governor another round of applause? The Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Bayomi FCIB. Thank you very much, sir, for delivering the governor's message succinctly. While the governor was speaking, as someone very important to this gathering walked in as well. Please make welcome the Group Managing Director, United Bank for Africa PLC and Chairman, Body of Bank CEOs, Mr. Oliver Alauba, FCIB. Please, can you give him a round of applause? You are most welcome, sir. At this point, for his own, perhaps, goodwill message or his own message, is someone who is a friend of the Institute, and he left a very convivial state, one of the best states you've ever been. If you haven't been there before, that's where you find snow, you have chillers, you have, if you go there, if you're dark, you'll be dark in complexion, and if you're fair, your fairness will be fair, whatever that means. Anyway, it's a place where if you sleep on one side of the bed, make sure you don't sleep when you're sleeping because you will wake up. It's so good, and with his emergence as governor of the state is better for it. Thank God there's a reduction in insecurity. Please make welcome our special guest of honor, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Manasseh Muftuan, Executive Governor of Plateau State. Can you make the clap resounding, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you. Thank you. Since the host governor has taken liberty to reestablish the protocol, I will adopt same as mine. Because today is like a wedding day for some people. Their eyes are on the honeymoon. But permit me to pay my respects to the President of the Council and all his team, the Registrar and all his team, the Honorable Minister of Finance, my very well-respected elder brother, their Excellencies, the host governor, and the governor of Katsina State, who is a very good friend, all the people on the high table, my younger brother, the speaker for today, the chairman of the Bankers Committee. Let me recognize you because I'm going to come to you. I want to sincerely thank the Institute for giving people like us in the hinterland an opportunity to come to this Lagos. This is Lagos. But let me say, whatever Lagos become, if you don't remember those of us hinterland, it will not be well with you. So the wealth of Lagos must move out and move upward. I want to pay my respects to this very great historic institute. And it brings to memory one of the founders of this institute, who today is hardly remembered. Even in Plateau State, where I come from, I call him the forgotten man of Plateau State. A former first vice president of this institute. He could have become the president, but he passed on. The late Chief J.Y. Lott, the first indigenous managing director of Savannah Bank. He worked in CBN. He was the one who designed and brought the idea of Plateau Cooperative Bank that eventually became Lion Bank, which was consumed by Diamond Bank and now Access Bank. He was a great banker. And I pray that the Institute will document this kind of history so that our heroes will not be forgotten. I want to appreciate the progress the banking sector has made in our national life. Certainly, it has moved in leaps and bounds. And I want to also salute the Honorable Minister of Finance and his team that all the macro indices of our economy are showing positive signs. And this is down to some of the very tough decisions Mr. President had to take together with the economic team. But let me say this, that while the macro indices are posting positive, we must not forget the small, minute details that affect the ordinary people. We as a government have keyed into the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, knowing that it takes time before some of these policies cascade to the point where ordinary people can benefit. And that is why we are filling the gap in making sure that we cushion some of the effects of these policies. One area clearly you would know in Plateau State is that we introduced the metro buses, which at the moment transport about 15,000 commuters on a daily basis. And we came up with an ingenious way of cash transfer. Rather than giving people cash, we made the subsidy transportation. So a distance that ordinarily will cost a passenger 2,000 naira a day, we have brought it down to 400 naira. I was being informed by my health team 2 weeks ago that we've also been able to cut down the cost of X-rays in our hospitals by 50%. Apart from the fact that we have built one of the labs at the moment, the lab in the Plateau Specialist Hospital is comparable to any, even in Lagos. And so we are making steady progress. But I want to appeal to the Bankers Committee. And let me congratulate you for renovating this historic edifice. It's worth being congratulated. But like I said, I was going to come to you. Such edifice exists on that require the attention of the Bankers Committee and CBN. We hope we will see you soon. But beyond that, what I'd like to leave with you is a strong advocacy for the productive sector, particularly agriculture. There are no two ways about it. Sometimes when I hear the experiences of other countries, and I keep wondering what we've been doing. Recently, I was in the Netherlands, where I went for consultations to see how we can improve the production of what you know as Irish potato. From now on, we have decided to call it plateau potato. But it will interest you to know that for close to 60 years that we are producing potato, we are doing an average of 7 tons per hectare, while the global baseline is 40 tons per hectare. This is the problem. And if you check any food crop, we are yet to meet national food security. It therefore means that beyond some of the experiences of the past that failed, I'm not asking for us to be able to promote some of the profligacy of the past, where we came up with many agri-schemes that were only conduits for fraud. I can attest to you that this current set of governors are perhaps one of the set of governors that are determined to change the lives of our people. And if you invest in the subnational effort, we're going to see an increase in food production. Unless we can be deliberate about food production. Because I believe while inflation can affect other sectors of the economy, and it may not matter so much, but where there is inflation in food, then we have a national crisis on our hands. I would therefore want the Bankers Committee, together with the Ministry of Finance and the CBN, to put heads together and let's see how we can refinance agriculture. Because without that, many of the efforts at the macro level may not be able to yield the desired result. I wish I had the time to tell you more and more of what we are doing, but we will create another opportunity for another day. Let me thank you sincerely for this opportunity. And, you know, villagers like us who live hinterland, we have to start our journey early. So I may not stay to the end with you, but I thank you for giving me this opportunity. To the honorees, I congratulate you and I wish you the best. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Manasseh Fukwang. Thank you so much for that address. What do you expect when a man has 2 names that carry promise? One person is Caleb and his name is Manasseh. Those are 2 names of promise. And I was not surprised when you stood here like an edifice saying, see me as I'm standing, there's no shaking. And I think that's the message is brought from Plateau State, that they're ready to impact and change the lives of their people. Even, Your Excellency, sir, you touched our face. This is Lagos. And he said that they have put a state-of-art hospital in Plateau that we cannot, I will not say it. Sir, we're coming back on that matter. And most especially food security, and is encouraging every authority here to put hands together to refinance agriculture in a way that will not be wasteful, but will bring growth to the economy. Thank you very much, sir, for your comments to us. Next, I will be calling on our very own, the chairman of Body of Bank CEOs, the Group Managing Director of UBA, Mr. Oliver Alaoba, FCIB. Calling you, sir, for your goodwill message. Thank you for all you've been doing in the support of the industry, in leading the bank CEOs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think the best way to start is to follow the line of the governor of Plateau State by resting on the existing protocol. Your Excellency, I would like to thank you for coming to Lagos. And you have given us a challenge that what we did in this venue, that we should also come to Plateau State to do it. We will think about it and we'll come back to you. I'd like to also thank the governor of Katsina State, here represented by the deputy. Just to say that Katsina State is the only state where the governor and the deputy are ex-bankers. I think the next hosting of this event, you already know where we are going to have it. That's not to say that we are not happy with the governor of Lagos State. I would like to also thank the governor of Lagos State, always at our event, always. Not because he's an ex-banker himself, but he's a performing governor. We'd like to thank him. Let me also, at this juncture, if you allow me, to thank the Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, and indeed the Governor of Central Bank. I've seen the Deputy Governors of Central Bank here. Please, we are thanking you for the way you have rescued Nigeria's economy. Today, things are better on the economy side than it was a year ago. As a banker, a year ago, if you meet a customer, he will tell you, do you have foreign exchange for me? Today, if you meet a customer, what he will ask you is that, in fact, you'll be asking him, do you have any need for foreign exchange? It is all thanks to the efforts that you, the Minister of Finance, and the body of the committee of central bank governors, all the efforts you have made. And at times, you know, Nigeria is difficult to say thank you, but we are thanking you today, please. I would like to also recognize the MDCOs of banks that are here and all the captains of industry that are here. Please, on behalf of Board of Bank CEOs, I would like to congratulate the 21 honorary fellows, the 440 elected fellows, and the 225 honorary senior members. We salute you. You are indeed the architects of progress, the custodians of integrity, and the pioneers whose contributions have indelibly shaped our economic landscape. Today, we do not just celebrate the titles, we celebrate a lifetime of dedication. The theme of today's investiture, banking beyond borders, leveraging technological innovation for enhanced performance, is not merely a topic for discussion. It is our present reality and our urgent mandate. For generations, you remember, Nigerian bankers built trust brick by brick, over counters and in ledgers and manual bookkeeping. We operated within physical boundaries, but our impact was never confined by them. Today, those walls have dissolved. The bank is no longer just a place you go. It is a service you experience, seamlessly woven into the fabric of daily lives of our people. Through a smartphone, a whisper to a small device, or even a code can elicit and execute a financial transaction today. We have moved from ledger books to distributed ledgers, from long queues with tally numbers. When the governor of Plateau State spoke about Lion Bank, I remember tally numbers. So I moved from long queues to tally numbers to instant queues in the cloud. This is beyond boundaries, and we are living in it today. But as we stand at this technological frontier, our celebration today comes with a profound responsibility. The prestigious titles of fellow and honorary senior member are not just accolades to be won, they are catalysts for action. Therefore, I call on everyone, the new investees here and established leaders in this auditorium, to champion 3 critical missions. Just 3. Number 1, let us bridge the digital gap with a human touch. As we leverage artificial intelligence, blockchain, and open banking to enhance performance, we must ensure that no Nigerian is left on the wrong side of the digital chasm. Technology be a bridge, not a barrier. Let us innovate with empathy, design for inclusion, and ensure that the heart of banking, which is trust and service, remains human, even when the interface is digital. Second, let us build fortresses of trust in a borderless world. With great innovation comes great vulnerability. As our systems grow more interconnected and complex, our collective commitment to safety, cybersecurity, data protection, and ethical use of AI must be unwavering. In this era of digital acceleration and seamless business operations, safety must remain our foremost priority, non-negotiable and uncompromised. Every breach, however small, erodes confidence and threatens the very fabric of progress. This fellowship we celebrate today rests on an enduring foundation of trust, and we must stand as its digital guardians, ensuring that in this new digital age, security is not a protocol, must be a culture for all of us. Third, let us collaborate as we compete. The boundaries we must break next are not just technological, but also territorial and proprietary. The future belongs to ecosystems, not just institutions. I call upon my fellow CEOs here, our fintech partners and regulators to foster a spirit of collaborative innovation. Together, we can build a financial system for Nigeria that is not only efficient, but profitable, and also resilient, inclusive, and globally competitive. In closing, I would like to indeed thank the President and Chairman of Council and members of the Governing Council of CIBN. I'd like to thank you for your steadfastness and for consistently elevating the standard of our profession. I believe, and all of us here know, that CIBN is the best professional institute in Nigeria. And I always like to do this. I hope you indulge me. I always like to thank all the past presidents of CIBN, and they're all here in their number. And the way to thank them is to allow them sit down, and all of us stand up to give them a standing ovation. Can we do that, please? Can we just clap for them? All the past presidents. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please sit. Thank you. So, to the class of 2025, our new fellows and senior members, congratulations and welcome to this esteemed guild. You are now the standard bearers. Carry this honor with the knowledge and the future of the banking industry in many ways is now in your hands. As we step out of this magnificent Wole Soyinka Center of Culture and Creative Arts, revitalized and brought back to life through the collective contributions of Nigerian banks, a shining testament of our banking industry impact on the Nigerian national development. I think that's the envy of the governor of Plateau State. Let us be inspired to do even more, not only in Lagos, but even in Plateau. May the coming generation of bankers that you represent not only transit boundaries in innovation, but also deepen our shared legacy of building institutions, communities,
Hello. Can you give Mr. Alawaba another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much, sir, for those insightful words, setting the tone for the keynote address. A few words struck me, and that is the future belongs to ecosystem. And like the popular slogan on social media, everything is a collabo. Yes, having the people and the bank move together, making sure the ecosystem work, collaboration is key. Please, can you give Mr. Alawaba another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I love the fact, just quickly before I introduce our keynote speaker, I'd like to recognize the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite. She just walked in. Please, can you give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? I like the way our distinguished guest came to this podium and just move on to the conversation. Can you just imagine if the governor of Plateau State decide to rest on existing protocol? It will have signaled so many things right here on this table because we're trying to move to time. But I like the fact that we're keeping to time and getting this conversation going Please, can you give our excellencies and our distinguished guests another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? At this point, now we are arriving at the defining moment in today's ceremony. The keynote address to be delivered by a visionary who doesn't just imagine the future, he builds it. Our keynote speaker is one of Africa's most respected tech entrepreneurs, a bridge between innovation and investment, and a living example of what it means to think beyond boundaries. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Future Africa, a platform empowering innovators to solve Africa's biggest challenges. He co-founded Andela, which has trained thousands of African software engineers, now powering global tech, and served as Managing Director and CEO of Flutterwave, the company revolutionizing payments across the continent. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome with resounding applause, Dr. Inyowa Boyeji, CEO, Future Africa, co-founder Andela, and former MD CEO, Flutterwave, for his keynote address. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before I attempt to stand on existing protocol, I would first like to recognize the many very important people that are here today, starting with the Coordinating Minister of the Economy and the President of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, as well as the governors and honorable commissioners here represented, as well as the distinguished fellows, the past presidents of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, all the other dignitaries present, and all the distinguished bankers in the room. I will first of all say that I have never had the distinguished honor of addressing so many bankers in a room, but I've perhaps had the pleasure of pitching to bankers most of my career about crazy ideas they should try. And I've been very lucky that every now and then, one or two allow me to do so. So I want to say a big thank you to this industry, because a big chunk of my career, I definitely have to thank people in this room for. Today, we're celebrating the fellows, the honorary fellows and the elected fellows of the Chartered Institute, and acknowledging contributions to this industry, which is immense bone of our nation. I do want to say a congratulations to everybody here on the well-deserved, and I hope that you have a fantastic celebration today. And now, finally, permit me to stand on existing protocol, just in case I missed anybody. Today, I've been asked to talk about banking beyond boundaries, leveraging technological innovation for enhanced performance in the Nigerian banking industry. But I'm going to ask us to imagine a little bit. And some of you who have heard me pitch something like Flutterwave from close to 10 years ago now might be very familiar with this approach to talking about the future. The one thing that our industry holds in its hands as custodians of capital is that the things that we finance, the things that we make possible as custodians of capital, say a lot about who we are and what we hope for our country. And this industry has been responsible for a lot of firsts in this country. If I started to mention them, we wouldn't live here today, and we must. But one of the most transformational projects that I would say my generation has had to witness, which is the Dangote refinery, is in many ways a testament to the efforts of many people in this room and their dedication to national development and freeing us from the shackles of a very cruel global financial system. And that is what inspires people like us who are coming behind to really think about what is it that we can do to best the track record that you have. Okay, I think we're back. Sorry. To best the track record, thank you. To best the track record that you have laid out for us and build on top of the foundations that you have laid out for us. And there's a quote from a great mentor of mine, and I never forgot this. He said, "Capital has a point of view." And every time I walk into a room where there is capital, there's sitting in front of multiple trillions, hundreds of trillions of naira of capital in this room, I always make it a point to try my best to add something to that point of view. Now, there are many sectors of the economy that have not felt what is possible with our banking system. And one of the reasons why that has not happened is because the technology to be able to underwrite these transactions has been difficult to come by. But here we are in the age of artificial intelligence, blockchain, and technology, instant payments, and financial technology innovation that can expand the range of things that we can put our investment capital behind. And as I read about another $1 billion oil and gas deal, I wondered how much easier it could be for our banks to look beyond things that are considered tested and trusted and increase financing to other productive assets with much lower barriers to entry, and I would argue much lower single obligor risks, distributed on a Gaussian scale, such that more people can feel the magic of banking. The idea that with some finance, you can actually create some value and return capital to investors. And by doing so, grow society and its ability to continue to take on and back real risk. And in many ways, as we look at the structure of our economy today, there's a certain tension that defines our economy today from the perspective of people that are my age and younger. That we live in a society where we have a lot of capital, but very little conviction. We live in a society where there's a ton of balance sheets, but no real backbone. That we live in a society where people have aspirations, but no path to fulfilling their ambitions. And ultimately, that they are resigned to a future where the only way to go up is prosperity without principle. And we are seeing the impact of this today in many sectors of our economy, in what is celebrated, and how people decide that they are going to make their way through the world, and in particular through Nigeria. The reality of the matter, if Nigeria is going to fulfill her destiny as a top 20 economy with trillions of dollars in GDP, we have to learn to finance young people with ambition for society. Now, funding ambition for society is very difficult and risky. And I'm sure as many of us could attest, for the last 10 years, most of our industry has had our hearts in our mouths as we watched captains of industry like Alhaji Dangote attempt what everybody considered to be impossible.
I'm hoping that the next time there's an opportunity to fund a dream that big, it's somebody who's had to spend 40 years of their life to get there. And what that means is that we need to build with technology the capacity to be able to fund ambition for society, ambition that doesn't just sit on and take value out in very short-term transactions, but ambition for society, for transactions that actually build value and compound value over time. And it means we have to change the way we underwrite. One of my favorite investors, somebody who happens to also be a very big investor in Nigeria against a lot of odds, is a gentleman called Jonathan Oppenheimer. Not a very popular investor, and maybe if people know him. But one of his papers that I always use as a reference document when I think about how we finance in our own firm is a paper called Engage Capital and Investment in Productive Assets. And in that paper, he wrote that the very essence of finance must move from being a spectator to being a participant in building real value. He called it engaged capital, capital that can work long-term with talented entrepreneurial managers to build things that compound real value. And again, building that is the difference between a country where capital can deepen our dependence or multiply our productivity. Despite what many people might say, the truth is there is money to be made either way. But we, those of us in this room, have the power to make a choice about what we're going to fund. Engaged capital is what happens when all of us in this room, banks, investors, policymakers, and entrepreneurs, decide that finance must first serve the real economy, that every loan, every guarantee, every fund that we deploy must touch real people doing real work and making real progress, and not just declare profits. My industry, for example, has had a quite bad rap, a bit faceless, invisible, ephemeral, a lot about apps and technology people don't. But one of the things that we've had to learn the hard way is that as we scale, there are just some hard limits to borrowing other people's infrastructure and platforms, which is what we've done for the last 10 years, not by choice, but simply because of the constraints of support that we can get locally from our banking industry. We bank in Silicon Valley. We borrow in Silicon Valley. We incorporate our companies in Silicon Valley. We pay our people in US dollars in Silicon Valley. We do everything outside of here. And it's not because that is the way we want to run, but because the system hasn't really been designed to treat us as customers. I'm going to talk about banking beyond borders. That is at the very heart of the matter. Because if you don't understand technology as an asset class, it cannot improve your returns. So this is what I want to talk about today. How do we invest in technology that demonstrates our vision for society and the future of this country, while making all of you many more trillions and billions of naira and dollars? When I think about the digital economy, there are very few things that come to mind. The first thing is that over the past 25 years, while oil has largely declined, the digital economy and technology has quietly become the fastest growing piece of our GDP, expanding over 15% every year in spite of very obvious constraints. It has created jobs, is exporting talent and digital goods, and is proving that ideas alone can build prosperity. But there are 5 key areas where finance has just failed to meet the mark when it comes to technology, and why it's very difficult beyond apps and APIs for the banking industry to really see the kind of performance it deserves to see in the technology industry. The first is in digital infrastructure. So 15 years ago, one of the people who I think has been honored as a distinguished fellow, Dr. Funke Okpeke, returned home and decided to do something many people thought was impossible. It was West Africa's first privately owned undersea cable. And that cable, in many ways, laid the foundation of the digital economy we have today. At that time, broadband costs were amongst the highest in the world. Internet access was very expensive, 90% more expensive than it is today, if you can believe it. Actually, sorry, 9 times more expensive than it is today. But, you know, she raised the capital thanks to the active participation of institutions bankrolled by this industry. She managed the regulatory delays and the harsh environment, endured a lot of skepticism, and built Main One, which is an enduring company, which when it finally landed in 2010, it cut the wholesale cost of bandwidth, and of all of us doing our business by more than 60%. In many ways, what you've seen in the fintech industry would be impossible if that sacrifice was not made. And that audacious bet is why Nigeria's internet penetration has jumped in just 15 years from under 20% to very close to 40%. A lot of things that we celebrate today, data centers, fintech, cloud services, digital trade, all rest on the foundation of connectivity. Several more players have followed her. We now have close to 400 terabytes of capacity in this country. But what have we done with that capacity? We've kept all of it in Lagos. We live in a country where only 10% of the population has access to all that capacity. Yet we have recorded these numbers. What happens when our country, every single corner of our country, is covered by high quality fiber internet connectivity? What happens when you can all track your assets? You can track trucks moving goods that you have bonded from Lagos to Castina, from One to Akwa Ibom. What happens when along those train tracks, people are able to see where their goods are in real time? It radically changes things. What happens when all your branches are connected? Really connected, not with patchy networks that go up and down, depending on what day of the week it is, but very strong connections that can actually carry the weight of the kind of defining transactions that you do every day. This is what ambition for society looks like. It might not be the most profitable deal on the balance sheet, but that investment in fiber connectivity and that collective effort for all of us to take that fiber connectivity from Lagos to the rest of the country will yield multiples in long-term profitability. Because what it means is that young people in Funtua, young people in Jos, young people in Mango can sit in the comfort of their buildings and they can connect to the rest of the world and do the things that they do well. Now, our industry has also done things that are quite visionary, which is why I know we can do it again. We came together and created the Nigerian Interbank Settlement Scheme. Quietly, not very grandiosely, but extremely genius. And today, the Nigerian Interbank Settlement Scheme is the fourth largest instant and real-time payment systems network in the world. One of the hidden secrets when a lot of people tell me, why don't Nigerian banks support fintechs? Is that I say everything fintechs are is built on the Nigerian banking system, specifically via NIBS. Today, Nigeria processes 8 billion instant payments every year, with transaction values getting into the quadrillions. We're doing open banking before everybody else discovered what open banking was. And there's still a long way to go on that, because those same rails that connected us to each other can connect us to the rest of the world, thanks to stable coins, thanks to blockchain, thanks to asset-backed funding. The truth of the matter is that the same spirit of laying that foundation for shared infrastructure that built NIBS is what has powered fintech companies like Flutterwave, Paystack, and MoneyPoints to their billions of dollars in valuation. This is engaged capital at work. Banks investing together in the infrastructure that lets the next generation thrive. The interesting thing is that we're now at the point where a combination of this super internet highway and financial technology platforms has now enabled more young Nigerians to enter the economy. Prior to that, entering the economy meant you had a rich uncle who could borrow you 500,000 to trade. Unfortunately, that's not everybody's reality. But now, with a phone, with connection to payments for free, young Nigerians are starting to build and export things that seem even more intangible. Intellectual property. They're starting to make music and sell it globally. They're starting to shoot film and sell it globally. They're starting to make clothes inspired by our culture and sell it globally. They're starting to make food and sell it globally. The symbols of our culture have become the new digital assets. They have, on the back of infrastructure built by engaged capital, turned nothing in many. For example, a few years back, somebody came and told you that streaming revenue from Nigerian-made music would top $200 million a year. You'd probably look at them very funny. That didn't seem like an asset class that you could invest in. But today, Nigerian creative economy exports from Nollywood to gaming to design and digital content is now worth over $2 billion annually. But we still haven't learned how to bank them. So as we learn that our banking must extend beyond the trade of just physical goods, we now have to take the digital goods more seriously. The things that are unseen. As the Bible says in Corinthians 4:18, the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are unseen are eternal. And I'm sure those that are accountants in the room will agree with me, because GAAP accounting hasn't yet decided how you appreciate music streaming. So imagine a banking system that treats these digital assets as actual real collateral. Copyrights, royalties, digital streams. That's the next frontier of asset-backed banking. Lending against the creative capacity of our people. And speaking of people, at the end of the day, that's the most important piece of the puzzle. I had the distinguished pleasure of co-founding Andela a decade ago. And the idea was simple but quite radical. We would pay young Nigerians a decent wage and invest up to $15,000 to train each one of them in a very intense program to become world-class engineers so they could earn global incomes without leaving home. And $1 billion valuation, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, and several hundreds of thousands of young people's life changed. The people who laughed at first and see the results. Many young people who seemed like they didn't have a future outside of traditional careers like banking are now building products for global companies right from their home. And that experiment has now inspired many other offshoots, including the government's 3 million technical talent program, and even an effort that I'm leading to actually do the same thing for AI engineers at a scale that can supply our domestic needs while making us the center of the universe for AI talent. Again, for every young professional that graduates from these programs, they're earning incomes of between $10,000 to $50,000 annually from remote work, legitimate remote work. Unfortunately, again, we haven't learned to bank them. So imagine millions of such workers, tens of billions in export income, powered just by talent, but we simply haven't learned to provide them pensions, we haven't learned to provide them homes, we haven't learned to provide them mortgages, we haven't learned to provide them many of the things, computers, many of the things that would make their life much easier. And as a result, they're turning to loan sharks or fraudsters to provide them those services. And a more fundamental question, really, is that as talent becomes one of our country's most valuable assets, we have to ask ourselves, how do we finance it? How do we start to build education backlogs? How do we start to build income share agreements, employment bonds that mean that we can invest in the human capital, even the industry itself needs, from cybersecurity analysts to blockchain engineers, to software engineers, to mobile engineers? How can we build on the back of the future earning power of our people so we can finance their potential? After all, we financed all rigs we can't see and tank farms whose contents we don't know. So why not human potential? Especially when, as a country with a median age of 16, we have such an abundance of it. In the end, all of these things rest on a critical foundation that is central to our industry, which is trust. And the truth is, again, thanks to the leadership of this industry, Nigeria has built one of the most advanced digital identity systems on the continent. BVN led the way, and NIN, as well as other platforms, have brought 60 million Nigerians into the verified financial system. But this trust layer is incomplete. We need to be able to exchange that data amongst each other so we can build a real trust layer that can tell us who we're lending to, what their track record is, and how they are most likely to act when we give them and trust them with depositors' capital. Most importantly, it requires us to start thinking globally about what we've built. We say the biggest challenge we have in Nigeria is not that we don't solve our problems, but we don't export our solutions. And that keeps us very focused on our problems instead of thinking of our problems as an opportunity to build solutions that can scale globally. We have built an incredible fintech ecosystem, a digital finance ecosystem by any measure, but we have not permitted our champions to take those technologies and go all over the world. We haven't built an international financial center where Florida and the Paystack can, from Nigeria, serve the entire world. There's no reason for them to serve the world from Delaware if they can do it from right here, right home in Nigeria, where they started. And this is where a lot of our regulators have to have a different perspective about what is possible. When we solve these problems and we come up with innovations, it is just not enough for us to focus our champions on local markets, but we have to push our solutions around the world, especially in this age of geopolitics. All these stories have one thing in common. How can we turn our ideas into productive assets? Because productive assets are really the bridge between our abundance of talent and our society to be a trillion economy. Hello, sorry about that. And this is where the concept of asset-backed finance becomes very powerful. Blockchain makes it possible for us to transparently finance. Okay. Blockchain allows us to transparently finance assets while managing risk more actively, tying capital to cash flows that generate enduring value, whether it's fiber cables or receivables or intellectual property or the proceeds of human capital. And this is how we can move the society from passive lending to those who already have, to active nation building by giving engaged capital to those who have the capacity to produce more. If we can design new financial instruments that are technology powered, that can unlock the productive potential in digital infrastructure, that can unlock the productive potential in intellectual property and digital trade, that can underwrite digital talent, that allows our people to be able to go around the world and come back with more than remittances and unlock the next wave of inclusive growth. One example I like to use, just deviate slightly, is, I was doing some math the other day about the total amount of money we've spent educating Nigerian doctors and how much they earn versus how much in student loans they would have had to take in the US. And our remittances, I think, are about 20 billion a year. And the amount every year will be something in the order of closer to 40 billion because of how much higher earning they are. These are the kind of instruments we need to start having the foresight to develop in our banking industry to underwrite the vision for society that we have. So, as a the last few points I want to make is, what can we do next? Where do we go from here? Well, I think as an industry, with technology, we must still make 3 fundamental shifts to building a banking industry that can leverage technology to finance society's ambitions. First, we have to move from evaluating assets by collateral cover to evaluating assets through the potential for productivity. So instead of asking questions that simply tell us, what do you own, that can act as contingency, we have to be more actively asking, what value are you creating in real time? And what does that mean for how much capital we can unlock for you? Again, with technology, this is possible. You don't have to write a $100 million check to somebody and walk away. You can actually leave the money in the bank, and as they produce on their assets, you can lend to them based on their cash flows. The future of finance. The future of finance is in production, not possession. Second of all, we have to move from financing ambition for self to financing ambition for society. It must be more important to us that we finance companies that have the ability to light a productive spark that empowers a lot of other industries than it is for us to simply finance the entrepreneurs who have the biggest balance sheet and have the potential to make the most profits. Our banks and our entrepreneurs have to collaborate around national priorities: energy, healthcare, energy, logistics, digital infrastructure. There are multiple opportunities in those spaces, particularly in this administration. Banks must participate. Agriculture as well. Our capital has to have a point of view. And then finally, we have to move from passive banking to engaged banking. It's not enough for us to just declare interest rates. We have to help entrepreneurs to figure out what is sustainable by helping them bring together blended finance, government guarantees, and partnership models, and designing instruments that ensure that they not only repay us our money, but also they can create jobs, they can scale globally, and they can build real assets. Surely, if our banks have the capacity to finance consumption at scale, we must be able to also finance production with conviction. I remind people all the time that $1 trillion GDP is not an abstract dream. It's not a number pulled out of the president's behind. Nigeria's economy actually already has the ingredients to be $1 trillion economy. It has the talent, it has the capital, it has the creativity, it has the enterprise. The problem, if we do not get there, will be because we did not have a banking industry that could support it. And that, I don't think our industry wants to be its legacy. So when we fund importers instead of builders, when we grow deficits by funding treasuries instead of building more productive capacity, when we finance speculation instead of production, when we inflate asset prices, but we deflate opportunity, we're not financing the ambition for society, the same kind of ambition that allows us to build digital infrastructure and train software engineers, that allows us to export culture and build global digital financial solutions. We cannot build a resilient economy that can sustain generation. This is the difference between a rich country and a prosperous one. So in closing, I often find myself reflecting on our new national anthem on one specific line: to hand on to our children a banner without stain. I see that as our major challenge as a country. Like the Rothschilds and the JP Morgan of the world, our banking industry can be remembered as the industry that helped Nigerian, particularly young Nigerian, turn their assets into ambition by funding productivity. That actually gave young, hardworking people a pathway to wealth that didn't involve crime or politics. A generation and industry that bankrolled a better society, that created jobs and the quality of life that we can hand on to our children. But it will start with how we think about every loan we approve. It starts with how we think about every risk we take. It starts with how we look at entrepreneurs that we choose to believe in. We can make the choice to continue financing extraction, deals that fund, enrich a few and exhaust so many, particularly young people. Or we can finance ventures that empower people and enable generations to build value. If we make the latter choice, this generation of bankers has an opportunity to be remembered, not just for profits, but for purpose. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we keep that resounding again? Thank you so very much, Dr. Inyolua Aboyeje. Seeing you up front and up close makes a lot of difference. You said something at the beginning today. You said capital as a point of view, and that every time you get to speak to people, you want to add to that point of view. I believe he has added to the point of view today by clearly stating how we must understand the unseen economy, the economy of the 60% of our population that are doing great things, from working from home, working in jobs like Andela, and making great things happen in a way that we don't understand. That understanding is the bridge we must cross today. He has also said that in our funding, we must look at funding that which has the ambition for society. That means to make a change that impacts the globe rather than a few. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should give him another round of applause. Thank you very much for setting that clearly. We will be going on quickly, and I'd like to quickly recognize Mrs. Uto Upana, FCIS, President Iksan. Thank you very much for coming, ma'am. And representative of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria's President, Mr. Ini James, FCT. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to that point where we go into the presentation of awardees, the Chairman Board of Fellows, and practice license by the one and only Global Register, the Chief of Protocol for the Globe. He's here already. Akimuraki, ACIB, HCIB. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I know we are pressed for time, and we have come to the point at which we are. This is the reason we're here. And please, may I crave your indulgence to cut off some protocols so we can go to the business of the day and get the job done. If we are in support, we say aye. And if you're against, say nay. The ayes have it. And so, Your Excellencies, we would get started. This is a very auspicious moment, as you have heard. We are conferring the honorary fellowship of our great institute on 22 very distinguished and eminent Nigerians. Please help me appreciate them upfront. Another set of 440 individuals, distinguished, eminent, will now be elevated to the status of elected fellows. These are people who have written the exams. They have been associates between 3 years and 10 years, and today they are going to the pinnacle of the institute as fellows. Please appreciate them all. Similar vein, we will be admitting into the membership, honorary senior membership of our institute, a total of 225 honorary senior members. Please, let's appreciate them all. Thank you very much. And so without much ado, may I request all candidates for the honorary fellowship of the institute to please stand and remain standing. Please stand to your feet and bring out your oath of affirmation. Not just yet, sir. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We'll do yours last. Honorary senior members. Honorary senior members. We have 3 categories. Okay, so you now adorn your stools. The stool I'm expecting at this point is white background. We'll make it snappy, Mr. President. I need 2 other microphones. 2 microphones I need at the point, one for the president and one for the chairman board of fellows. So please adorn your stools.
Yeah, take.
Now, please say after me, all the honorary senior members, please say after me. I insert your name as an honorary senior member of the Chinese Bankers of Nigeria. Hereby affirm that I will respect, promote, and abide by the provisions of the Act, policies, rules, regulations, and guidelines of the Chinese Bankers of Nigeria, as well as adhered strictly to the code of conduct in the banking industry, governing members of the institute, and the banking profession. I pledge, with every sense of responsibility, to discharge my professional responsibilities with all sense of honesty, integrity, competence, and uprightness, and to do everything ethically possible to uplift the standards of bankers, the banking profession, and the banking industry at large. So help me God. You can clap if you want to clap. And I invite the Chairman Board of Fellows to please step forward, and the President and Chairman of Council of our Great Institute to please step forward. The Chairman Board of Fellows and Practice License for our Great Institute, Dr. Dele Alabi, FCIB. It is with great pleasure that I, Akin Morakio, HCIB, Registrar, Chief Executive Officer of the Chinese Bankers of Nigeria, present to you these distinguished personalities who have fulfilled all conditions sent by the Governing Council of the Chinese Bankers of Nigeria for admission as honorary senior members of the Institute. I so present.
Thank you very much, Honorable Registrar, the President and Chairman of Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Professor Pius Deji Olarewaju, PhD. Chairman of the occasion, distinguished guests of honor, fellows, honorary senior members, associates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I, on behalf of the Board of Fellows and Practice License of the Institute, proudly present to you and this very distinguished audience, these eminent members of the banking profession who have fulfilled all conditions set by the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria for admission as honorary senior members, ACIB, of the Institute, with all rights, privileges, and obligations, Mr. President, sir.
Thank you, the Chairman of the Board of Fellows, by the powers conferred on me by the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, I, Pius the Olanrewaju, FCIB, do hereby confer on you all, jointly and severally, the honorary senior membership of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. All rights, privileges, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. 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 You may please be seated. You may please be seated. The great sage Chinua Achebe once said that when a toad is running broad daylight, it's either it's chasing something or something is chasing him. Something is chasing me this afternoon and it's time. And so on this note, I'd like to request all our elected fellows to all please be upstanding and please adorn your stoles and let's take your oath of affirmation. We'll go through the ritual of her coming up stage and collecting our stoles after we have all finished the rounds of administration of oath of office. Please pull out your affirmation and repeat after me. I, please insert your name, as a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, hereby affirm that I will respect, promote, and abide by the provisions of the Act, policies, rules, regulations, and guidelines of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, as well as adhere strictly to the code of conduct in the Nigerian banking industry, governing members of the Institute and the banking profession. I pledge, with every sense of responsibility, to discharge my professional responsibilities with all sense of honesty, integrity, competence, and uprightness, and to do everything ethically possible to uplift the standards of bankers, the banking profession, and the banking industry at large. So help me God. The Chairman, Board of Fellows and Practice License, Dr. Dele Alabi, may I, Akin Murakio, Registrar, Chief Executive of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, present to you these distinguished associates of the Institute whose applications for election into fellowship of the Institute have been approved by the Governing Council for presentation to Mr. President for the conferment of fellowship of our great institute.
Thank you so much, Global Registrar, President and Chairman of Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Professor Pius Deji Olanrewaju, EAD, FCIB, the Chairman of the occasion, distinguished guests of honor, fellows, honorary senior members, associates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I, on behalf of the Board of License of the Institute, proudly present to you and this very distinguished audience, eminent members of the banking profession, associates who have met the conditions set by the Governing Council for the conferment of fellowship of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, FCIB. Mr. President.
Thank you, my first Vice President. By the powers conferred on me by the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, I, Pius Deji Olanrewaju, PhD, FCIB, do hereby confer on you all jointly and severally, the honor at our great institute with all rights, privileges, and obligations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, congratulations, and congratulations. You may please be seated. Thank you. You are now FCIBs. And then yesterday or some weeks back, we told you cannot use it, but now you can use it. And what you have and you do not use is of no use. Please use it. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now the high point of this event as I invite the honorary fellows of our great institute. And leading the pack, it's my honor and privilege to invite to please stand upstage the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Wale Edun Orofaro. Please be upstanding, sir. Honorable Minister, we will want you to adorn your stool as I take your citation. And very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of time, the citation of all the honorees starts from page 31 downward. And so, Mr. Wale Edun is a renowned figure in the finance and economic strategy who has developed an illustrious career spanning over 4 decades. His dedication to public service and expertise in economic principles has earned him esteemed positions at both national and international levels. As the current Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun directs Nigeria's fiscal and economic policies, leveraging his vast experience to drive the economic growth and development agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have all had the accolades of all the macroeconomic indices that we have achieved, and this is attributable to him. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore my singular honor and privilege to present to you this visionary and transformational leader, a man with the Midas touch, a consummate professional, an astute manager of men and resources, a world-class economist, a bridge builder, a lover of humanity and a role model to young and upcoming thinkers. Mr. Wale Edun for the prestigious award of Honorary Fellowship of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Thank you. Let's appreciate the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much. All right. For the sake of time, I'll call out all the names of all the honorary fellows, and we'll take the oath of admission at the same time. Then after that, they will come up for the collection of their certificates and plaque from the president. The ayes have it. Fantastic. Now, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present the next awardee. He is the Deputy Governor Operations Directorate of Central Nigeria, Dr. Balabello, a trailblazing financial expert. Dr. Balabello, MON, is a seasoned financial expert whose illustrious career spans over 25 years, with the last 15 at executive level across banking, capital markets, development finance, and pension funds management. He was recently appointed chairman of the board of directors of Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. He also currently serves as Deputy Governor of the Central Bank and sits on the board of Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Press. In every role that Dr. Bello has led, he leads with integrity, innovation, and purpose, inspiring others in driving meaningful change. His passion for community service has earned him several honors, including the St. Anthony's Parish Humanitarian Service Award. Dr. Bello's story is a testament to true leadership combined with excellence for lasting impact and national growth. Dr. Bello is happily married with children. Mr. President and very distinguished audience, it is my singular honor and privilege to present to you a distinguished member of the banking industry, a transformational leader, a pace setter, a quintessential banker, a trailblazing financial expert, and a paragon of excellence. Remarkable Dr. MONHCIB. Congratulations, sir. Thank you, sir. You may be seated, sir. The next awardee is an amazing. She is the Deputy Governor, Corporate Services Directorate of Central Bank of Nigeria, Ms. Usoro. Usoro serves as the Deputy Governor of the Corporate Service Directorate at the Central Bank of Nigeria, where she provides strategic oversight for the bank's core institutional support systems. Our mandate spans human resources, corporate communications, security services, legal services, medical services, procurement, and support services. These functions are indispensable to the bank's operational effectiveness and the successful execution of its policy objectives. Under distinguished leadership, these key departments have been strengthened and harmonized into cohesive pillars of resilience, excellence, and institutional capability. Widely admired within the financial sector, Deputy Governor Usoro stands as a symbol of visionary leadership, unwavering integrity, and selfless service. I thought you were clapping for her. A consummate professional and a quiet yet powerful force for progress. She exemplifies the heights and purposeful leadership that purposeful leadership can attain. Our journey is defined by dedication, intellect, and a lifelong commitment to nation building, and an inspiring legacy that continues to shape Nigeria's financial landscape. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, distinguished guests, it is my singular honor and privilege to present to you a distinguished member of the banking industry, an amazing, an accomplished banker, a reputable and thoroughbred professional, a long life learner, a great mentor, and a shining light to young bankers, a lady of inestimable value, the unstoppable Ms. Usoro. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You may be seated, ma'am. Thank you. I now call on the next awardee, the Managing Director, CEO of First Bank of Nigeria Limited, Mr. Olusegun Alebioshu, HCIB. Thank you. Mr. Olusegun Alebioshu was appointed the Managing Director, Chief Executive of First Bank Nigeria Limited in June 2024. He was until his appointment, the Acting Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer since April 2024. He was previously Executive Director, Chief Risk Officer, and Compliance Officer from January 2022 to 20th of April 2024. Prior to that appointment, he was Group Chief Executive Officer, a position he held since 2016. Segun brings to the executive management of First Bank over 28 years of experience in banking and in financial services industry with cross-functional exposure to credit risk management, financial planning and control, credit and marketing, trade, corporate and commercial banking, agriculture, financing, oil and gas, transportation, including aviation and shipping, and project financing. So which one is left? He commenced his professional career since 1991, and today he is the MD CEO of First Bank of Nigeria. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to present to you an eminent member of the banking industry, an older, a business re-engineering guru. Please stand up, sir. A renowned strategist, a role model and a trailblazer, a reputable and thoroughbred professional, a reformer, a good mentor, and a risk management encyclopedia, Mr. Segun Alebiosu. Congratulations, sir. Thank you very much. Our next awardee is the Managing Director, CEO of Jais Bank PLC, Mr. Dr. Haruna Musa. Haruna Musa, PhD, was appointed Managing Director, CEO of Jais Bank PLC on the 21st of November 2023. He is a seasoned banker with over 28 years of cognitive experience in banking across Nigeria and Africa. He is an alumnus of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Bayero University Kano, Cranfield University United Kingdom. He earned his PhD in Islamic banking and finance at the University of Utara in Malaysia. Until his appointment as a substantive MD of Jais Bank, he has served as executive director with GT Bank for 8 years and garnered 22 years out of his 27 years worth of banking experience working for GT Bank. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, it is my singular honor to present to you a member of the banking industry, an all-rounder, a visionary leader, known for his unwavering dedication to ethical governance, integrity, professionalism, and commitment to innovation in banking. He is a builder, a game changer, a great mentor, and is known today as the challenger, Dr. Haruna Musa, PhD, HCIB. Congratulations. 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 Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our next awardee is the MD CEO of Polaris Bank Limited, Mr. Kayode Lawal. Kayode Lawal is a seasoned banking professional with over 3 decades of experience in the financial services industry. Before his appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of Polaris Bank, he had a distinguished career at Sterling Bank PLC, where he served as the Executive Director of Corporate and Investment Banking. A transformative leader, Mr. Lawal is passionate about driving sustainable growth, fostering innovation, and empowering people to achieve excellence. His leadership philosophy is built on integrity, strategic foresight, and a deep commitment to creating long-term value for stakeholders, customers, and the broader economy. He is married with children, and he is deeply family-oriented, balance and inspiration for his strong family values. Mr. President, distinguished guests, it is my honor and privilege to present to you a consummate banker with sterling footprints across the financial services landscape, a banker by excellence, a dynamic manager of men and resources, a vibrant, enterprising professional, Mr. Kayode Lawal. Congratulations, congratulations. The next awardee is our Managing Director, CEO of Keystone Bank, Mr. Hassan Imam. Hassan Imam is the Managing Director of Keystone Bank Limited. Previously, he had held key executive positions at Fidelity Bank, where he served as Executive Director and Executive Compliance Officer. His wealth of experience comes from a distinguished career spanning more than 3 decades. With a diverse background in banking, Hassan's expertise encompasses commercial banking, consumer banking, SME banking, risk management, trade finance, and transaction banking. He has effectively chaired several committees like the Criticized Assets Committee and the Operational Risk and Service Measurement Committee, where he successfully managed and mitigated operational risks, evaluated assets credit quality, and implemented robust risk management. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to present to you a distinguished operator in the banking industry, an innovator, a consumer banking expert, future-minded, value-driven and result-oriented, an economist whose footprint spans multiple sectors of the Nigerian economy. Please join me as I present to you Mr. Hassan Imam. Congratulations. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our next awardee is the Managing Director, CEO of Rand Merchant Bank, Mr. Bayo Ajayi, HCIB. Bayo Ajayi is the CEO and Managing Director of Rand Merchant Bank Limited. He has over 26 years experience in the banking industry. Before taking on the role of CEO of Rand Merchant Bank in February 2024, he had served as Executive Director and Chief Finance Officer since 2018. Bayo holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, the only university on planet Earth. He is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and the Association of Chartered Accountants, United Kingdom. Mr. President, distinguished guests, it is my singular honor to present to you the titan of the banking industry, a renowned strategist and a financial expert, a role model and trailblazer, a global revenue assurance professional, a man of impeccable character, a social reformer, a resourceful and eclectic professional. Mr. Bayo Ajayi, congratulations. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our next awardee is another amazing, the Managing Director, CEO of Citibank Nigeria Limited, operating from Lagos, the city that never sleeps. Nneka Iwereji is the MD CEO of Citibank Nigeria Limited and has a proven track record of being a resilient leader, growing businesses, deepening client relationships, and building strong partnerships. To our current position, Nneka was Citi's head of global network banking, GNB, across sub-Saharan Africa. And she has led the team to record growth amidst considerable market complexities. Her previous roles include the GNB co-head for Middle East and Africa, Africa Trade Service Head, and Financial Institutions SSA Trade Head. Nneka's banking career spans markets, corporate and investment banking, transaction services, risk management, and operations. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, distinguished guests, it is my honor and privilege to present to you a distinguished member of the banking industry, a renowned strategist and a risk manager by excellence, a role model and trailblazer, a dynamic woman, a essential banker, and a paragon of excellence. I present to you Mrs. Nneka Iwereji. Congratulations. Congratulations. Mr. President, our next awardee, MD CEO of Coronation Merchant Bank, Mr. Paul Abiagam. Please let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Paul Abiagam is the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Coronation Coronation Merchant Bank, and he brings over 27 years of distinguished experience in the financial services industry. With a strong foundation in finance and accounting, he began his career at the former Diamond Bank PLC, where he advanced through various roles, gaining extensive expertise in commercial and corporate banking. His career spans banking, pensions and funds management, strategy, investment banking, and risk management. Paul's deep understanding of the Nigerian and West African financial markets positions him as a transformative leader, driving innovation and sustainable growth in the financial services sector. Mr. President and distinguished members, distinguished audience, it is my honor and privilege to present to you this eminent member of the banking industry, an accomplished all-rounder, a visionary strategist, an expert in business transformation, a reputable and consummate professional, a reformer dedicated to excellence, a respected mentor and seasoned leader, Mr. Paul Abiagam, HCIB. Congratulations. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our next awardee is the Managing Director and Head, West Africa, JP Morgan, Mr. Dakpo Olagunju HIB. You can make it louder. Dakpo Olagunju is the Managing Director and Head of West Africa at JP Morgan, where he helps shape strategy, market development, and policy engagement across sub-Saharan Africa. A seasoned executive with over 25 years of leadership in financial markets, he has been instrumental in shaping the evolution of capital markets and foreign exchange systems across Africa. He is a global leader who has chosen to apply the skills, network, and education that he garnered over the years towards the development of the African continent. His career reflects an enduring commitment to excellence, ethics, and innovation. He continues to influence the industry and the academia. Mr. President and very distinguished, esteemed guests, it is my honor and privilege to present to you a distinguished member of the banking industry, an accomplished banker, a trailblazer, a role model, a boardroom guru, and a passionate advocate for the youth. Please join me celebrate the quintessential Mr. Dakpo Olagunju. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests and honor, Mr. President, it's my honor to present to us our next awardee. He is the chairman, Greenwich Merchant Bank Limited, Mr. Kayode Falowo. Mr. Kayode Falowo is the chairman and lead promoter of Greenwich Merchant Bank Limited. He is a seasoned investment banker with over 40 years of postgraduate experience and practice in finance. You can clap. If you take his experience out of my age, what is left? He obtained a BSc honors in agricultural engineering from the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. You can clap if you want to clap. An MBA from University of Benin. He was a council member of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and once served as the chairman of the Capital Market Committee on Products and Business Development. He recently retired as the chairman of the board of National Association of Securities Dealers. His profile is 2 pages, loaded for me to read, but you can read it and catch up. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to present to you a distinguished member of the banking industry, an accomplished banker, a trailblazer, a role model, a capital market expert, boardroom guru, and a man with a Midas touch, the exemplary Mr. Kayode Falowo. Thank you. You need a lot. And you will get. Mr. President, distinguished guests, our next awardee is the chairman of Paralex Bank Limited, Dr. Diola Phillips. Diola Phillips. I see the handbook of Paralex. You are doing well. Dr. Diola Adejoke Phillips holds a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from University of Lagos, the University of First Choice. She possesses C-level executive management experience with expertise in strategic, operational, and financial planning, creative branding, product innovation, competitive analysis, market planning and development, crisis management, and organizational restructuring. Dr. Phillips is an exceptionally dynamic and accomplished executive, adept in transforming conceptual organizational objectives into concrete growth strategies. I thought the ladies are clapping for her, for their own. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, it is my singular honor to present to you a visionary, a leader, and a technology enthusiast, a dedicated mentor, role model, and trailblazer, a committed mother, and a lady of impeccable character. Dr. Adiola Adejoke Phillips. Congratulations, ma'am. Our next awardee is the chairman, Theatre Partners, and former managing director, CEO of EcoBank Nigeria Limited, Mr. Olaisun Olore. Permit me to let the cat out of the bag. This auditorium where we are sitting, he is the chairman of the board managing this auditorium. And that's why we're here. Born in Lagos in 1955 to the Holy family of Chief and Mrs. Oludare Holloway. This who started his early education in Lagos, which was completed at the Lagos Baptist Academy and St. Gregory College, respectively, in May 1975. He gained admissions to the University of Lagos, September 1975, studying law prior to going to the United States in 1976, where he completed his BA programs in finance, marketing, and economics at Morehouse College in 1979. He received numerous scholarship awards, including the Rotary Club of Atlanta, Alcoa, and Bankers Trust. He was elected into Who is Who among students in American universities and colleges, and to the prestigious Phi Beta Kappa Academy Society in 1979. Upon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is 2 pages as well. Permit me to present to you. It is loaded, and you can leave. One thing I'd like to mention that he is the first indigenous MD CEO of EcoBank Nigeria, and he has produced several other indigenous MD CEO. Please, let's celebrate him. He is an icon. He is an icon. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you an investment banking and energy guru. Justice Tanisa, a passionate expert and a banking icon, Mr. Oladisu Olowe. Thank you very much, sir. You may be seated. You may be seated. Our next awardee is the immediate past director, Bank Examination Department of NDIC, Dr. Michael Oladele. Dr. Oladele is a seasoned banking system supervisor with over 32 years of experience in Nigerian and global banking supervision space, including over 10 years at executive level. He served as the Director of Bank Examination Department and the Chief Bank Examiner at the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation from June 2022 until his retirement on March 28, 2025, overseeing 42 deposit money banks, including payment service banks. In addition, he served as the coordinator of Lagos NDIC. As one of the longest-serving banking system supervisors in Nigeria, Dr. Oladele played a key role in shaping the industry's direction. Please, let's give him a warm round of applause. Mr. President, very distinguished audience, it is my honor and privilege to present to you an eminent member of the banking industry, a versatile all-rounder, a business re-engineering guru, a reputable and thoroughbred professional, a reformer, a great mentor, a world-class bank examiner, a regulatory compliance expert, and the reformer, Dr. Michael Oladimeji Oladele. Distinguished audience, our next awardee is the economic advisor to the Delta State Governor and former commissioner of economic planning, Delta State, Dr. Barry Gray. Dr. Barry Peregbe, a consummate banker, development policy expert, and public servant, hails from Akubene town in Bomadi local government of Delta State and was born on the 15th of May, 1970. He is the immediate past commissioner for economic planning, Delta State, and currently the chief economic advisor to the governor of Delta State. Barry-based history, his work at Head Support Service Fortune Bank, Head Consumer and Collection Banking Unit First Inland Bank, Branch Manager for Fee Bank, PLC, Branch Manager at FCMB, Managing Partner Dominant Logistics, Logic Consult, Board Member, Delta State Board of Internal Revenue, Honorable Commissioner of Economic Planning. One test is left. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, please permit me to present to you a consummate banker with sterling footprint across financial and public services landscape, a dynamic manager of men and resources, an astute administrator, vibrant, enterprising. Please join me as I celebrate Dr. Barry Peregbe. Congratulations. Congratulations. We have yet another amazing as our next honoree. Please join me as I invite you to please up be upstanding. The Managing Director, CEO, Group Managing Director, CEO of STL Capital Group Limited, the immediate past President, Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Vice President, Corporate Secretary, International Association, Mrs. Fumi Ekundayo. Mrs. Ekundayo Fumi is an alumna of the Harvard Business School. She is a member of the Chancellor of Secretaries and Administrators, United Kingdom and Nigeria. She holds a Bachelor of Law degree and Masters of Law degree from University of Lagos. She is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries of Administrators of Nigeria, where she also served as a member of the Governing Council and Honorary Senior Member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Fumi has distinguished herself in her area of core competence as a seasoned capital market practitioner and trust specialist, engaging in structuring of complex legal, financial, and trust instruments. Under Fumi's leadership, STL Trustees has been repositioned into one of the leading trust companies in the Nigerian capital market. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and I am delighted to present to you a seasoned professional, an extraordinary governance practitioner, an eloquent and inspiring leader, a go-getter, and a stellar performer. Please join me celebrate Mrs. Mr. President and very distinguished guests, our honoree, the next honoree is the past president of the National Association of Microfinance Banks and the chairman of CIBN Kaduna State Branch. Charity, they say, begins at home. Let's celebrate the CIBN family. Alhaji Yusuf Gyalesu is a seasoned professional banker, certified accountant, and experienced administrator of over 38 years. He has over 38 years experience in banking and private sector. He worked in the commercial, merchant, mortgage, and microfinance banking sectors of the banking industry in Nigeria. He holds a master's degree and postgraduate diploma in banking, in finance, both from Bayero University, Kano, and Kano State Polytechnic and Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria. Yusuf is an executive member of the following professional and recreational associations: former national president, Nigerian National Association of Microfinance Banks, former first national president. This is too much. Mr. President, distinguished guests, please permit me to present to you this seasoned microfinance specialist, an exemplary banker by excellence, a dynamic leader, and a transformative industry leader, Alhaji Yusuf Ahmed Gyalesu. May I now humbly request all our inductee, our honorary fellows, to please be upstanding as we take the oath of affirmation. The oath of affirmation. Honorable Mr. Sir, you will also be doing this with us. So I want the Honorable Minister to say after me and to others as well. It's a real privilege for me. Distinguished leaders, you will say after me, with all due respect. I, your name. As an honorary fellow of the Chancellor of Nigeria, hereby affirm that I will respect, promote, and abide by the provisions of the Act, policies, rules, regulations, and guidelines of the Chancellor of Bankers of Nigeria, as well as adhere strictly to the code of conduct in the banking industry, governing members of the institute, and the banking profession. I pledge, with every sense of responsibility, to discharge my professional responsibilities with all sense of honesty, integrity, competence, and uprightness, and to do everything ethically possible to uplift the standards of bankers, the banking profession, and the banking industry at large. So help me God. The Chairman, Board of Fellows, Dr. Dele Alabi, PhD, FCIB, May I, Akin Morakio, HCIB, Registrar Chief Executive, present to you these distinguished members of the industry whose nominations for the award of the Honorary Fellowship of the Institute has been approved by the Governing Council for presentation to Mr. President for the conferment of the Honorary Fellowship of the Chinese of Bankers of Nigeria. I so present.
Thank you very much, Global Registrar. President and Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Professor Pius Deji Olarewaju, PhD, FCIB, Chairman of this occasion, distinguished guests of honor, fellows, honorary senior members, associates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May I, on behalf of the Board of Fellows and Practice License of the Institute, proudly present to you and this very distinguished audience, eminent members of the banking profession who have contributed immensely to the banking industry and profession in general, and to the Institute in particular, for the conferment of Honorary Fellowship of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, FCIB. Mr. President.
Thank you, my first Vice President. By the powers conferred on me by the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, I, Pius Deji Olarewaju, PhD, FCIB, President and Chairman of Council, do hereby confer on you all, jointly and severally, the Fellowship of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, with all rights, privileges, and obligations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Distinguished honorees, please, you may be seated. You will file out one after the other. I will announce your name. You will step up to the podium. The gentleman on the top table, you will begin your handshake from the chairman body of bank CEOs. You will pick your certificate from Mr. President, and you continue in that order. That will be, you may be seated, very distinguished leaders. Thank you. And so, Mr. President, it is my honor and privilege to present for the presentation of award a brand new fellow. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me celebrate for the first time the Honorable Minister for Finance, Mr. Wale Edu OFR FCIB. Please step up. The band. Your Excellencies, we celebrate one more time the Honorable Minister for Finance, Mr. Wale Edu FCIB. Congratulations. You guys come. Thank you. All right, thank you. The next I want to step on stage to receive his plaque and certificate is the Deputy Governor Operations Directorate of Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Bala Bello, FCIB. Dr. Bala Bello, FCIB. Bala Bello. You know the branch, you know the branch, he says, you know the branch, you know the branch, he says, Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. The next awardee to come on stage is the amazing, the Deputy Governor of Corporate Services Directorate, Ms. Musoro, MTID.
Yes. Allah, Allah Sharihi.
Our next awardee that will be coming on stage is the Managing Director, CEO of First Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Chegwa Lebiosho, CID.
Olùṣègùn Àjàṣẹ́gun yé mo bá ròde yìí. Àjàṣẹ́gun Olùṣègùn. Ṣé.
Thank you very much. The next awardee to come on stage is the Managing Director, CEO of Jai's Bank, Dr. Haruna Musa, FCIB. Congratulations. Dr. Haruna Musa, PhD, FCIB. Congratulations. Dr. Haruna Musa,
Haruna, some days you and me, I don't know. How are you?
next awardee that will be coming on stage is the MD CEO of Polaris Bank Limited, Mr. Mokayo Delawan, MCIB.
Peace and very well.
Mokayo Delawan.
Peace and very well. Peace and very well. Peace and very well.
Our next awardee is the Managing Director, CEO of Keystone Bank, Mr. Hassan Imam.
Excellency,
FCIB.
Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by Commissioner for Finance.
Mr. Hassan.
Olúwa lóyún mo ní ẹni ẹ̀ ńlẹ́. Àbáyọ̀mí. Commissioner for Finance. Bàbá, ẹ tún máa ṣe fẹsẹ̀ iṣẹ́ United States, Nigeria Police, the MDCO, Grand Merchant Bank, Mr. Bayo Ajayi FCIB. Bayo Ajayi FCIB. Ajayi o, Ajayi o, Ajayi o, Ajayi o. Ajayi o. So,
Thank you, ma'am. Our next awardee to come on stage is the managing director of Citibank, Citibank MG, Mrs. Neka Eweji. Citibank Neka Eweji. And I invite the managing director of Coalition Merchant Bank, Mr. Paul Birgham, FCIB. Birgham, FCIB.
FCIB box. Nítorí pé màá ń sọ wípé. Fellowship Investiture today.
Keystone Bank, Mr. Hassan Imam. Mr. Hassan Imam, let's make way on the aisle. Mr. Hassan Imam, MD CEO of Keystone Bank. All right. Next, I'm inviting on stage the managing director and head of West Africa, JP Morgan, Mr. Dr. It's not one of the titans. I invite on stage the chairman, Village Bottom Bank, Mr. Kayode Follow, MTID. Follow.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Thank you. Next is the chairman, Parallel Bank Limited, Dr. Adiola Philly. Dr. Adiola Philly, Parallel Bank. Adiola Philly, MD CEO of Parallel Bank. Bring it down. I'd like to bring upstairs the former direct MDC of EcoBank, Mr. Oladisu. Dr. Adiola Phillips, FCIE. Thank you. Dr. Michael Ladele, FCID. Dr. Ladele. Shut up. I will follow you here. Thank you. And I invite to come on stage, Dr. FCID. Dr. Barry Perepe, FCID. Congratulations, sir. Commissioner for me. It is our thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. It's a way. One life. What is our way? Sit down. I now bring up stage the amazing managing director of CEO of STL Group. Greetings from me at Pundayo, FPID. Congratulations. Now thank you. Let's see you. FCID. Congratulations. Of our immediate past president, Dr. Ken Okpara FCID. Commissioner. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I now like to invite all the on stage. All the awardees, please come back off stage. All the awardees, please come off stage. All the honorary fellows, please come off stage. When you want to see it, please come off stage. After this photograph, I crave your indulgence to please be seated so we can take the remarks from the head Minister of Finance. He's going to be speaking on behalf of all the awardees. That is a photograph. Congratulations. Thank you and thank you. Please be seated for the remarks of the Minister. Be seated for the remarks of the Honorable Minister on this auspicious occasion. Please permit me to welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. FCIB, his official assignment after being committed as a distinguished fellow of the Institute. Please give him a round of applause. Please be seated. Please be seated. Distinguished guests, please be seated. Thank you. Please clear the aisles for the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister is addressing us. Please let's take our seat. Thank you.
Good afternoon and thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you. I know at this time, at this stage, it must really be all protocols duly observed. But let us recognize our chief host, the governor of Lagos State. We thank him for all he is doing. And by contact, the other state governors. I will just say that they promised to do more. They didn't say under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda reforms, they have much more money, so they should do more. But we thank them. I am happy to be here. And one of the reasons I will give you, you see, just like you elected fellows, if they had given you your certificates, maybe you won't be seated here now. So they are very smart. They did the same for me. I had to be here in person to get my honorary fellowship. And that's why I'm here. But you know, honestly, President, Chairman of Council, it is long overdue. We have here Chief Femi Ekundayo, past president. He was, when I entered banking, I won't even tell you the year, as a youth corper, but I'll tell you it was with National Bank of Nigeria, long since gone. Chief Femi Ekundayo, I think he was then the managing director or a top executive of Nigeria Merchant Bank. Those were the star boys. So look how long they have made me wait. I beg, it's been overdue. I thank Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. In those days, it was called Nigeria Institute of Bankers. So that's just to show you the history. But on behalf of my fellow awardees, I do thank the Institute, and I congratulate all of us that have been recognized here today, all my fellow awardees. We all know it's a great honor, and we promise, as we have just sworn our oath, to live up to it. And CIBN is a institute of excellence, and the banking industry has done well. His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, was on these very premises just a few weeks ago, and he did commend the effort, he did commend the vision and the determination of the banking community as a whole. Let me recognize, even if they're not here, the deputy governors of central bank who are awardees today, and indeed they were representatives of the governor of central bank. And we all know that monetary policy under him has stabilized the financial system in a most commendable way. We recognize him, we thank him for his efforts. Of course, it's a team effort, and those eye-watering interest rates have to be paid by the fiscal side, but the fight against inflation is one that we all have to participate in, so we understand those tight monetary policies. Let me close with just one thing. What we heard from the young man in Aboyeji was profound, and I would like us all to go and think about it and interrogate it some more, because he is the future. And what we have, he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember. He has no knowledge of tally number, what it used to take to get money out of a bank. So we have come a long way, but he's pointing out to us that there's work to be done. There are 400,000 graduates every year. We now have what I would say is Mr. President's agenda. Rapid growth. It's accelerating above 4%, well above 4%, and we look for it to continue. We have sustained effort of the reforms. Since May 29, 2023, we have stayed the course, but we need inclusivity. That inclusivity means good paying jobs for our young people. And he pointed out that we have to, even though we have a more level playing field, nobody has to know the governor of central bank to access foreign exchange, for example. That's a big change from what we had before. But he has pointed out to us, we, the finance industry, the banking industry, we have more work to do, because we must finance the ideas. We must deepen our markets, the capital market, the banking credit market, right down to small SMEs. They should not have to go to Silicon Valley. And so I will leave us with that thought. As bankers, we have done very, very well. Let us interrogate what he has said, and let us remember, if you do not meet their aspirations, which the president is doing with 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic network about to be unleashed in this system, if we don't meet their aspirations, they will go to crypto, they will go to virtual, and then we'll have another issue. On that note, I really want to thank so many people who are still here. And I know it's to collect your certificate, not to listen to me. But anyway, I have the advantage of having you as an audience. I thank the Chartered Institute of Bankers, the president, chairman of council, the registrar. I thank one and all. I'm happy, I'm proud to be honoring FCIB. God bless.
Thank you very much, our brand new FCIB. And coming from the Minister of Finance, that the banking industry is doing well. What more do we want? Please, let's appreciate the minister. And he has done my job. My job at this time is supposed to be thanking you, but the honorable minister has helped me on my behalf to thank you. So I just thank the president and thank the office holders, thank our progenitors, the past presidents, our honorees, and indeed everyone who has made it possible to be here. In the words of Henry Frederick Amel, thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude, and gratitude is completion of thankfulness. Please help me turn to your right and to your left. Tell someone, thank you, congratulations, I'm glad you made it. Thank you, congratulations, I'm glad you made it. Thank you, congratulations, I'm glad you made it. All is well that ends well. And this is where we draw the curtain of this event as we take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria Band, the national anthem. The national anthem. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. And I thank our compeers, Joshua Murakiyo and Mrs. Bukola Oluyade, FCIB. And my name is Aki Murakiyo. I thank you all. Thank you, one. Thank you all. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Congratulations. Go see.